SBN, Sports Business Now. SBN is a division of Row 27, the digital sports marketing company, celebrating 5 years of creating TV spots, intro videos, and microsites for over 150 teams. See our work at row27.com. And by FanMaker, digital marketing tools for sports teams, featuring FanMaker Rewards, the most comprehensive and popular fan loyalty and reward system. Learn more about our apps at fanmaker.com. Sports Marketing Now.
Hey everybody, and welcome to Sports Marketing Now. I'm Holly Koski, and Sports Marketing Now talks about all of the latest news from the marketing side of sports throughout the week. And we have Russell Scibetti of thebusinessofsports.com and Matt McCormack of the Minnesota Swarm. Hey guys, veterans of the show now.
Surprised you had me back, Holly. Thanks.
I know. I guess the first one went okay.
Yeah, I think you guys did all right. If you, Russell, I'll start with you if you want to introduce yourself to our audience here.
Oh, thanks. Russell Scibetti. I'm the founding editor of thebusinessofsports.com, which is an industry blog covering news, opinions, and best practices across all different elements of the industry. And you can find me actively on Twitter at @rscibetti.
Awesome. And Matt, yourself?
Well, I'm Matt McCormack. I've been in the industry for over 12 years now. I'm with the Minnesota Swarm, currently overseeing all of our basically external relations, ticket sales, marketing, sponsorships, the whole works.
So you're a one-man show over there at the Swarm then, huh?
We've got a great team here. I just have my hands in a lot of things.
Absolutely, absolutely. And glad again that you guys could join us. And we have a lot to talk about this week, especially with March Madness going on, full swing. And the New York Times actually came out with a really interesting article on the branding of college sports. And now it's turned to the court. You can see there the University of Oregon did something unique with their stain of the court, where it looks like evergreen trees found in Oregon. And first there was the blue turf with Boise State, and then there was the flashy uniforms, and now it's the courts. And the Mountain West Conference actually did something similar for their conference tournament. So there's a fine line between great branding and going over the edge in terms of cheesiness. But Russell, what are your thoughts on just the whole court branding?
I mean, any opportunity an organization has to really put their own unique look and feel on something, it is definitely a branding opportunity worth pursuing. I think some of them might take it too far, and I know you're going to touch on a couple of other examples beyond just Oregon, but I'm a little concerned that it might be something that it's very fun and flashy now, but ultimately the other thing that has to be remembered is that this is still a basketball court, and you have both your own home team and your visiting team, and some of these patterns and graphics to me are pushing what could be considered fair in terms of the players' comfort level and ability of recognizing spots on the court. So it's great for the home team, not just for branding, but for just being comfortable with what their unique court is like. I wouldn't be surprised if the NCAA eventually kind of reels this in a little bit.
Especially with what Brian just showed up on the screen, which was the FIU, Florida International University basketball court, which is a little intense. It's, the Miami beaches and everything Florida on the court, which is interesting. What are your thoughts, Matt?
Well, I think that you're right that there is a line there, and I think FIU actually did it well. If you saw the post or the article online where they had two different options, one being the beach scene and the other more the nightlife type scene, the dark court with the skyline and everything. I think that they went the right direction there by going with the beach, but it's a great chance to brand your team, brand your school, and in their case, your city, which can be a huge draw, not just for fans and sponsors, but also for the recruits.
Matt, have you guys toyed with, changing the turf color or anything like that with the Swarm?
Well, we like to push the envelope a little bit, and we haven't discussed it, but when it's time to replace the existing turf, you can guarantee that there will be some discussions about it.
First NLL team to do that, so there you go. Yeah. Maybe. Russell, any other lasting thoughts, especially with the FIU logo? Well,
see, I think the FIU one is one that's going a little too far. I applaud their creativity, and you definitely got to say it's thinking outside the box. But there's a little bit of noise to value ratio in something like this, where it just is it really a branding play, or is it just so unique that it's I think at that point maybe it's too much noise and not contributing as much value. But the next logical step, and Matt touched on this briefly, is how do sponsors start playing in this space? Because the more creative you get with your physical inventory, and there's nothing more valuable than space on the field, on the court, is how are sponsors going to ask to get involved, and to what extent are you going to let them get involved?
Yep.
Right, especially with NCAA restrictions and arena restrictions. So that'll be interesting to kind of see if more schools go that route in the future. And speaking of innovative kind of new partnerships, Southwest Airlines and Adams Golf are partnering up for kind of a cool initiative where, they're really taking advantage of each other's strengths. Southwest Airlines is an airline that doesn't charge for bags, and golf bags are included. And so now they are kind of partnering with Adams to really play off each other's strengths. So they'll, and then Southwest will borrow Adams players for, promotional campaigns. They'll be on their bags and everything like that. And then there's also a tie-in with their Easy Million campaign. The promotion, which touts, the extra distance that golfers can get with an Adams Golf Club. Now they offer a grand prize of 1 million frequent flyer miles on Southwest. So kind of cool. What are you guys' thoughts on this cool initiative?
Well, I think it's a lot of fun. Sorry.
No problem.
I think it's a lot of fun, and it's a great way for these two brands that aren't necessarily the leaders in their field to work together and help each other get a little bit more exposure. I saw the photo of the golf club or the simulator on the concourse, which was great. I wonder what's next. They're gonna have putting contests down the aisle. I don't know, but there's a lot of possibility there. It could be a lot of fun.
I like that. I like the putting. Mid-flight, do a little putting contest. But yeah, you saw the simulator briefly shown on the screen there. What better way to kill time at an airport than being a golf simulator, right, Russell?
Oh, absolutely. I know. That's why I would definitely try that out. I love how this campaign is so multi-channel. That's, to me, a very key aspect to any successful partnership, that it's going to include the exposure from the players, the in-airport opportunities for the branding and the activation, as well as the social media component. That having all those different channels is really important. I think the unique nature of this is also really important. The way they found sponsorships are much more than just inventory and logo rights or things like that. The fact that they really found a great fit with Southwest's Bags Fly Free and the golf bag component, and how many different golf resort locations Southwest flies to. It's a really unique combination of assets that I think raises up the value of this particular deal. And I love the way it came together. For as sophisticated as we all want to be in the sponsorship marketing arena and analytics and making sure that the right demographics match, this really came about, if you read the story, through a couple of marketing execs talking and getting creative and just going, what can we do? There's got to be something fun that's a great fit for both of us. And it really came about organically.
Oh, absolutely. And especially when, you consider flying to like golf destinations. A lot of the time they offer, deals to go to, say, Florida, Arizona, and having, a golf manufacturer play into that, I think, is really smart. So that's a great point. And moving on now to MLB. Opening day is literally right around the corner, although it doesn't seem like that with weather across the U.S. being the way it is. But the MLB is using a new campaign to really target the younger demographic and are using younger players in which to do so. You can see here their new campaign, which they play off of the I Play For. Includes Mike Trout, Bryce Harper, Buster Posey, Andrew McCutchen, and David Price, along with Justin Verlander there. Interesting, though, because the majority of those players are under the age of 28, while a couple of them are, the old age of 30. So they're rolling out a bunch of these ads over the opening weekend and opening day. What does this say about the MLB's strategy in terms of going young and everything like that? Russell, I'll start with you.
I think it's a good decision by them in that some of their most marketable, visible players in the last couple of years are hitting the tail end of their career. Two that come to mind, Derek Jeter has historically been one of the more marketable athletes in the biggest market that they have. Albert Pujols is starting to get up there a little bit. They've had some recent retirements as they came out of the steroid era, the sluggers, if you will, that have moved along. So for them, it's important for Major League Baseball to make sure they stay relevant and that they find opportunities to get these new faces in front of their fans. So much is made of baseball as being a team sport and 25 people on the roster and 9 players on the field. But ultimately, so much of it still comes down to the batter and the pitcher and how much screen time that they take. The more that they can introduce and build connections to the younger players, it's going to help them transition away from the players that we knew and grew up with that are retiring.
Hard to believe that they're already retiring, but they are, and there's a new crop of baseball talent out there. Matt, what are your thoughts?
Well, I think it's great because of who they're targeting. Baseball tends to have a slower image or an older fan base. So to target a younger fan base by highlighting your younger stars, I think that's a great tie-in and a great direction to take.
Absolutely. And Bryce Harper you just saw the Bryce Harper video, and he actually took to the phones in Washington to lure some season ticket holders back, get some new ones. He actually got on the phone with them and took to Twitter saying, if you want to talk to me and buy season tickets, call the Nats number and ask for Bryce, including that was the hashtag. What are your thoughts on this? Can, a player, by calling them, by reaching out to them, by tweeting them, can that really make the difference in terms of getting someone to buy tickets? Matt, I'll start with you. Have you thought about this at all?
Yeah, we've actually, lacrosse being kind of a niche sport, especially here in Minnesota, we've been lucky enough to have a couple of Minnesotans on the roster over the years. So we've actually used them in some of our outreach, whether it's to season ticket holders or lacrosse associations, and it's been literally on the phone calling out to them. Now, we're in a bit different situation in that our guys don't make a ton of money, so it was also another way for them to earn a little bit of cash, which worked out pretty well. So I think it's a great way to draw a connection to some of the players, and I love that the Nationals are doing it. Any way you can connect your fans to your players, it just makes it less of a sales type atmosphere and more of just an enjoyable fan experience.
So are they getting commission off these sales then, Matt?
Well, yeah, of course.
I like it. Russell, what are your thoughts?
I love it. It's just like it's just another evolution of the players delivering tickets to season ticket holders or any of those appearance-driven events. I know some teams have done something similar with social. I think Amari Stoudemire had something a couple of years ago where he was personally using his social media outlets to help sell Suns tickets, which was fun. I think the White Sox also did something a little earlier where you could phone in and talk to some of the pitchers or some players they had rotating through their sales department. I think an important thing here is, as great as social media is, as great as going out and deliver tickets, a ton of ticket sales efforts, an overwhelming majority of them still occur on the phone. The sales pitch and involved in the conversation and how much you need to explain locations and options. So when you can take a player and make them a part of that process, I think the experience is incredible. I got to believe this would be successful across almost any organization that tried to do it.
And there's something to be said about actually speaking with that player. It's one thing if they retweet you, which is really cool. It's one thing if they reply to you on Twitter, but having, a 10-minute conversation could really be the difference. So really, really great insight. And thank you guys for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
No problem. Thanks, Matt. We appreciate you taking the time out mid-season as well.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It was fun.
No problem. And thank you for joining us. And we will see you on Thursday for Sports Business Now. You can find us on sportsbusinessnow.com or on Twitter @SBNow. We'll see you next time.
SBN, Sports Business Now.